live. How you guys doing? Yes, Mariko, welcome in. We are at breakfast, so I'm excited to be here. It's 8:18. I am currently in Suriname, and I want you guys to ask questions while you're here. But I'm going to be talking about a couple of things that I see keep young men broke because, International Women's Day just passed a big time. First of all, she financially free. I've been retired for the past 2 years. I've been just traveling. And, when I was just starting making money and staying focused was one of the hardest things because there are a couple of things that cause young men to stay broke and get distracted. First is women, right? You don't understand how men are, right? If you're a young man and you're not used to women, every woman that you see, you're looking all over the place because you're not focused. And that takes so much time. Think about this. If you are a young man, this is why married men make more money than single men. And it's a really simple concept because every time that you have to go on a date, you take out your phone, you're interrupting your thought process, you're interrupting the flow state of thinking. Every time that you have to interrupt that, a married man doesn't have to do that. So let's say you're chasing 4 or 5 women at one time, even two or three. 2 or 3 women at one time is a lot of tension. So you message them, every half an hour, every 10 minutes, every hour. Every hour you are breaking your train of thought to go message this woman with her. That's very, very distracting. This is why married men don't have that distraction. They're just focused, they're locked in, right? And then, in addition to not having that distraction, when they get off and they stop working, right, at 8, right? What are they doing? They're thinking about business. They're talking about business with their wife. They're talking about the next plan. What are you doing? You're getting to know somebody. This is why single men don't make a lot of money compared to married men. Because single men, they're going to go ahead and they're going to unwind by not talking about business. They're going to talk about how was your day, and I want to hear about what you did on the weekend, and I want to talk about your dreams and stuff. But a married man doesn't have those problems. He's thinking and he's locked in. So that every time that you are distracted as a single man, you are losing. Then what happens on the weekend? As a single man, you probably want to go out, right, on the weekend, on a Friday, on a Saturday. You go out. What's the married man doing? He's at home. The married man, I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate that very much. I see you. Who's that? Kyron Grant, my man. What's the married man doing on the weekend? The married man on the weekend, he's not looking for a club to go out to. What's the married man doing on the weekend? He's at home talking to his wife about the plans that they're going to make. Thank you, brother. I'm at a cafe right now, so get my breakfast, an omelet and coffee. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But I'm going to be live with you guys for the next couple of minutes. So this is why young men get distracted, right? So again, on the weekend, what ends up happening is married man stays at home talking about business plans. Single man goes out to the club distracted, losing his train of thought. That does not work. Then again, all right, every time you think about it, every time that the single man gets distracted by women, even if he's pursuing just one woman or 2 women or 3 women, right? The married man is not doing that. He's at home planning, strategizing. He has more opportunities to make more money. And then I give you another scenario, right? Every time that you have a new girl to talk to, right? Every time that you get excited about something, you know what the married man is doing? He's staying calm. He's staying focused. So the married man walks into a meeting, he got a kiss on his cheek, he got breakfast this morning, he gets into his gym, he gets into his meeting and his mind is clear. What are you doing? The single man goes into the meeting, he's thinking about, oh, this bad girl, like he gets to talk to this weekend or take out, but he's distracted. So then that mental energy is a lot. So I'm telling you, women, It's a very distracting thing for young men. And worse, again, a married man, if he's having, I know, let's keep it a book, right? If he's having sexual relationship with his wife frequently, then he's not having to go and watch, porn. What do you say? He's not watching those things online. A single man, that's what he's doing on the weekend. That's what he's doing every, 3, 4, 5 times a day. Ridiculous, right? But a married man, he gets to be focused. A married man gets to keep his energy. He gets to keep his level of cognitive thinking at a high rate, right? Because he's not distracted. Because what that does is that it lowers your energy. But a married man doesn't have those problems. So that married man walks into a meeting, his energy is high, he's focused, he's not distracted, right? His brain is functioning at the highest capacity possible. So then, with all of these things together, this is why the married man is making twice, 10, 20 times as much as the single guy every single time. You look, I want you to do this. Look at the Forbes. Look at the Forbes, and you will see that the Forbes list, every single one of the top guys, all of them are married. Now, maybe they got divorced once, maybe they got divorced twice, but all of the top guys are married. You name it. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, um, who else is up there? Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, right? Steve Jobs, Richard Branson. All of these people, they have very singular focus on one woman. No, I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying they're faithful all the time. But in a long stretch of time, if they can focus, thank you so much. If they can focus, I got my omelet, guys. If they can focus, then they're not distracted and they get a lot more done in a short period of time. This is how young men go through because they get distracted too easily. All right. And the second thing that keeps young men broke is that they get caught up in comparing themselves to the Joneses. So then you can look at me right now. I appreciate you, Kyron. I appreciate you just giving you a shout out. Kyron, I appreciate that. So here's the thing. You can look at me right now. How much would you guess my clothes cost? How much would you guess? Maybe $25. The shirt is maybe $15. This is kind of expensive. My glasses, my AirPods is probably the most expensive thing on me, right? You'd never guess how much my net worth is. But if you go on Instagram and you can see the lifestyle, right? But you'd never guess by looking at me. So I'm not trying to compare myself to everybody. You have a lot of young men that they get into thinking that they need the latest J's or they need the latest clothes, the latest chain, the biggest thing, bust down watch. I don't even have a watch on, right? And I think comparison is what gets a lot, not I think, comparison is what gets a lot of young men down because here's what happens. The moment that you start to compare yourself with someone, now you think you don't know what they did to get that. You don't know that they're in debt, credit card debt, right? You don't know that maybe their parents bought that for them. You don't know that that was a gift, right? You don't know that that's maybe the only chain that they have, right? You don't know that maybe they're financing that chain over 24 months or 5 years or whatever. You don't know any of that. But you're just comparing what you know to what you think you see. So then you're looking at your bank account and you're saying, oh, but I can buy the chain, right? I have $20,000. I can buy a $5,000 chain. I can technically. So you go ahead and buy this $5,000 chain instead of taking that $20,000 and turning it into 40. No, you have to turn $15,000 because you just took $5,000 to buy the chain and try to turn 15 into 40. And you keep doing that, no, you have to turn 10 into 40. And you're competing against guys who aren't buying chains. You're competing against people who aren't buying dumb shit. That's the very basis of it. The very basic raw fact of it is that you're competing against people who aren't buying dumb things. I haven't bought sneakers. I travel, so I spend money on traveling, obviously. But This shirt, $15, right? Glasses, $70. AirPods, 100 and something, right? My shoes, $100, right? Your millionaire next door is not buying Gucci everything every day, right? I work with people who own and in real estate, right? I work with people who own entire neighborhoods, right? You look down the home, you look down the street, that's his house. You look down the street, that's his house. 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 He's his own neighbor. And you know what he wears every day? Jeans and boots. Jeans and boots. So then the things that you see online, that's just not true. So comparison, stop comparing yourself to these guys. Don't first of all, most people compare themselves to rappers. Rappers don't make money. Rappers are good at rapping, but they're not business people. Rappers, let me explain to you how rapping works, how the music industry works. What happens to rappers is that when they get a deal, they get an advance. It's the same advance that you're thinking about in your 9 to 5 job. They get an advance. And what happens when you get an advance? You have to pay it back. What is that? In basic definition, that's a loan. Rappers are getting $1 million loan, a $5 million loan, a $500,000 loan, $10 million loan, which means that when you get the $10 million, they're going to buy a $500,000 chain, a watch, convince you that you need this, but they're going to need to work to pay the label back plus interest. They're in debt for $10 million. That's why they're not as easily, you know, flexible. They're not as easily, free after they sign that deal. Look at them 5 years down the line. Look at what's Blueface Baby. Look at so many of them, right? Look at T-Pain. T-Pain talked about it. After he signed his deal, no, he makes more money from streaming than he does from music. Why? Because the music industry is not what it's seems. So you're seeing these people flex, and T-Pain came on and said he doesn't fly private. Why? Because flying private is ridiculous. Now, if a rapper, when they're being honest, will tell you that all the flexing thing that you see online, again, I'm not saying that they're not going to flex. I do flex. I travel. I spend a lot of money. But what I am telling you is that the comparison of buying the AP watch and the Gucci every day, most people do not live like that because it is not, it's just not real. It's just not real. It's a facade that you see online. I'm not saying that you cannot spend money, but rich people do not spend money to show off on Instagram. That's just not, that's a very small subsection, and they're called influencers for a reason. That's what they're trying to do. Okay. Some of the richest people I know, they just travel all year. They stay in here for 3 months, they go over there, they stay in a penthouse, and they go over there, they rent a BMW and they fly all over Europe, and then they come back and do the same thing over here because it's a free lifestyle. And that means a lot more than buying one AP watch, right? Not saying that they don't have any, it just means a lot more. So that's the second thing that gets young men in trouble when they're very young. And the third one is leverage. The third one is leverage. This is what a young Warren Buffett said, and Charlie Munger, rest in peace, when he was here, this is what he said. Leverage gets young men into trouble. What is leverage? It is when you take more money than you have and try. So this is actually what happened to Dave Ramsey. This is why Dave Ramsey is against debt now. It's not that debt is bad because every billionaire has used debt to become a billionaire, every single one. But what has happened is that if you are over leveraged, then if the asset falls, you don't have enough to cover. This is why leverage makes young men or keeps young men broke. So, leverage is when you take someone else's money, try to apply it to something that does not yet have a proven track record, and then try to scale that. That is a mistake. If you are trading stocks, don't use someone else's money until you have a proven record. If you can move a trade 50 times successfully, that's a proven record. But what people try to do is that they try to do something 5 times and say, oh, if I can do this 5 times and I make the sixth one, and if I multiply it by 10, then I'll be a millionaire by next week. That does not work. What ends up happening is that you have more money, leverage, and then you lose it all. And this is what happens to people in stocks, crypto futures, options, you name it. This is why leverage keeps young men broke, because then they get excited and then they lose all their money. The way to do it is to be consistently building. And then you can apply debt to a system that's working. I'm not saying not to use leverage because I'm in real estate. Leverage makes sense, right? If you have a system that's earning 30%, 40%, 50% margins, then scale the hell out of it, right? Because then if you're earning 30% at 100 grand and you're earning maybe 25% at a million, then get leverage to get to a million faster. That makes sense. But if you're only earning 10%, don't get leverage. That does not make sense. You need a system that's reliable in order to gain leverage. All right, so Philip asked, is crypto a good asset? Crypto is a great asset to hold in the long run. Too many people are trading crypto and trying to get rich next week. That is a mistake. So if you're holding, for example, the top 10, right? That's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, what else is up there? I think Dogecoin is up there as well. Dogecoin is a bit more speculative, but there are some really good crypto projects that have good utility. Bitcoin, you cannot go around holding Bitcoin over a 10-year period. Why? Because no one who has held Bitcoin for more than 5 years has ever lost money. I'm not sure if you I'm not sure if you knew that. No one who has ever held Bitcoin, for a 5-year period has ever lost money, which is amazing. No other asset can say that. So then why is gold high right now? Gold is high because the US dollar is slipping. The US dollar is slipping, so gold is on the increase. Because people are saying that if the US government is going to keep printing money to fund these wars, we're going to hold gold. And then what's the next logical step from gold? Digital gold. And that would be Bitcoin. So over the course of 5, 10 years, yeah, hold a little bit of crypto. I'm holding crypto. I just bought some more Ethereum 2 weeks ago when it slipped below $2,000. I bought Ethereum myself and I put it on my Instagram story so that everybody can see I put my money where my mouth is. Bought a lot of Ethereum at 2,000 or below 2,000. So yeah, it's a good idea. I'm invested in real estate. I'm invested in crypto and stocks. And I also own a couple of different businesses. And here I am at breakfast in a $25 shirt, a $40 glasses, AirPods, and $100 shoes. As I said, I don't want you guys to stay broke. I was once broke and I know what that feels like. And I don't want it to happen to you. All right, I'm going to go enjoy my breakfast and get started on my day. All right, peace out, guys. I bought Bitcoin when it was at 20K and sold it when it reached. I feel you, brother. Keep pushing. I'll see you guys tomorrow.